Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry and Plurk. This is episode 13, T7R1. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. I might be distracted because it is snowing outside and I love snow. This is my third winter in Kentucky, and it is the first winter where there's been enough snow to make me happy. The previous two winters there's been like 2 or 3 days where there's been light snow, but it has snowed at least a little bit every day this week. And it's not a big accumulation, but it's enough to make me happy. I still get to see it. So if you see me looking to the side frequently, I'm looking at the snow. Because you're in the windowsill. Did I say that already? You're in the windowsill and I'm sitting in my chair backwards. So the Selfish Knit Along is still going on. And I checked this morning. There are 7 projects, including mine, that are tagged for this. The tag is BPHSELF for Bunnyfish Selfish. If you have a project and you haven't tagged it yet, please tag it so I can go look at everything that everyone's made. The craft along is for any Ravelry sanctioned craft that you make for yourself. The finished object must be for yourself, but you can make anything you want in those 4 categories. It can be a new project or a work in progress, and since there's 2 weeks to go, it's definitely possible to make something for yourself, even starting something new. Onto my finished objects. I don't have any. Well, kind of. If you watched the podcast last week through to the end, you will see that as I was uploading last week's episode, the postie dropped off my mail and there were 3 packages. One package, the one that had the purple blocking out addresses, was from my sister, and it contained broken socks. You remember how my sister had a broken sock from her dog Lenny? Well, Lenny struck again, this time with Cecilia's socks. Serious damage to those socks. The backs of the leg were completely torn off. Luckily, he didn't go into the heel at all. One was, I think, 8 rounds above the heel and the other was 5 rounds. So it was really, really easy. Just stockinette to pick it. Just picked up the stockinette, and after I removed the broken parts, of course, but just stockinetted up and then did some ribbing at the top and did a bind off. They were originally top down, but no big deal. Easy to fix. Both of them he broke, and the other one I fixed in the car, so that's still in the car, and my boyfriend took the family vehicle, so stuck with him at work. I do have about 11,000 works in progress. Okay, not really 11,000, but I think there are 8 that I'm actively working on every day. Yeah, 8 works in progress a day. It is because Nerd Wars started on Friday, and 2 of the projects are for the work in progress challenge, which is called, I don't remember what the new categories are. So one's a work in progress thing, and for that I am finishing up Amanda's Gray Thigh Highs. Oh yes, they will be finished by the end of the month. I am determined, because let me show you. I made it through the last decrease round for the leg, so I'm to the narrowness that it needs to be, and Mara made me a drawing. But over here, nope, this hand, over here, these boxes, so weird to not be actually looking at what I'm doing. are how many repeats of the cable I have before I get to the heel. So, pretty close. That is 16, 17 to go. Yes, 17 repeats to go before I'm to the heel. That's not too bad. That means if I only do 1 repeat a day, in 17 days, I'll be on the foot. But I'm planning on doing at least 1 repeat a day and 2 a day when I can manage it, or 1.5 or whatever. So those will be done by the end of the month. They have to be by the 28th, which is it's February. I just realized it's February, so only 28 days. Obviously. Okay, done by the end of the month. These are worked on size 1. That's how much progress I made this week. Size 1 needles, which is 2.25 millimeters, using Premier Serenity sock weight in the colorway charcoal. Did I say that? I don't know. And the other project I'm working on for that is the Snuggle, which has doubled in size, more than, in the past week. It is about 2 feet now. It was definitely less than 1 foot last week. And nobody commented on whether I should go with black and white or color, so I just decided to keep up the black and white and just pulled out my least attractive skeins of yarn from, you can see right above my head right here, that's my acrylic stash. Right behind my head, on the side, yeah, right there, this bag, this is my purple and green acrylic stash because I have plans to make a monster for Gina out of purple and green, so I just pulled all of it and put it in the bag so it would be easy to find. But yes, I just found the skeins that were still mostly skeins. Like, I pulled out a white that was unattractively wound because it had been partially used, so the center had collapsed. And the black was the least attractive black skein. Excuse me. So this will probably be done sometime this week. Because there's a reason it will be done this week. Other than I did more than doubled, and it only needs another foot or so to go this week. I don't remember. I'm making the Snuggle as part of the Yarnivore Craft Along for Snuggles, and it ends at the end of the month. If you want to participate in that, there will be a link in the show notes. I highly recommend, if you have the time and the leftover acrylic or superwash or cotton, just make a snuggle for an animal. The snuggles go to shelter animals in your area. You just drop them off and report on the website that you dropped them off. And it's been proven that animals who get these snuggles adjust better from, I'm just going to sound this awful, I think, for the next while. Sorry about that. Animals who have the snuggles adjust better going from the shelter to a new home because they have something to take with them. It's not just complete shock to the system of all new things, new environment, etc. Before I get into other projects for Nerd Wars, let me just go through the other things that you've seen already. Snuggle, made out of random acrylics. None of them have tags. I'm going to guess they're Red Heart and Karen. That's going to be my guess, because that is what I know I bought a lot back in the day, and that's what my mom uses. Okay, so miter square lapgan. It is now 4 squares big. And I'm using a US 10 6.0 millimeter needles for this. So far I have used, let's see, Tudor's. That cream color is called cream. I looked it up. But I didn't look up what the blue or the pastel are called, so I'll get those looked up and know them next week. And the brown color is barley. It's just miter squares. I'm not really using a pattern, just kind of making it up as I go. But if you're interested in miter square making, I highly recommend the miter square thing that I used for my sock yarn blanket, which should be in the show notes too. Let's see, what else? Oh, spinning. I started my second little length of fiber that I've pulled off from the ball, and it's still the first turtle, so it's not, and obviously Gabriel was playing with it because now it's all undone, but this is about how thin I'm spinning it, and it is my 15-20 minute meditation spin, so it's going to take a while, but I don't mind. You're going to be seeing this for months, I'm sure. But I still want to show you because look at how pretty that spindle is. Totally love zenning out spinning that and wrapping it prettily. Still working on my 2-color spinning project, which is for the 2-color spin along with knittables, and also making this for a Nerd Wars challenge. I told you about this last week. Here's the fiber. I haven't weighed it, so I don't know how much I've done so far. But that's what I've got with my still broken spindle. I meant to pick up a new dowel. I actually looked for a dowel while we were shopping at Walmart because, they have that whole home repair section, but they didn't have wooden dowels. So I didn't fix my spindle. So obviously this whole thing of fiber is not going on this spindle. Maybe half though. If I can get half of this onto the spindle, that would be pretty awesome. And then I'll just connect them later. So yes, that is mystery fiber. It came in the huge box of fiber from Carrie, and I'm making it on my CD spindle. And the spindle is from Thomas Creations, and I love it. And I won it in the Ravelinic Games. What else am I working on? I have everything around me. Sorry. For another Nerd Wars challenge. Everything else that I cast on, all the new things, are for Nerd Wars. I started a sweater. It is on a kind of short cable because I don't have, I have 3 fixed circulars and they're all sock circulars. So these are all on my boy interchangeable, and I have 1 cable for one sleeve and 1 cable for the other sleeve, and then this cable for the body of the sweater, and I literally just split for the sleeves. You see that? That's my cast on for the armpit. Just split. I didn't even think I was going to get to the splitting because it was 2 o'clock and I wasn't there yet. But Mara was watching a movie and I didn't want to deal with stopping her from watching her movie just to put her down for a nap because then fighting would have ensued. So I just let her watch the last 20 minutes of the movie and got through the arm splitting on the sweater. This is the first time I've made an adult sweater, and it's kind of awesome. I'm kind of in love with it. My sister wants me to make the sweater. It's for my sister. She wants me to make the sweater. Let's see. Can you see how long this sweater is? Maybe if I back up. I don't know if you can see. I'm sure you can now. So that's how long my sister wants this sweater to be. She actually stole this sweater when she visited back in, what was it, November, December. And asked me to make her a sweater, and she held this hostage until I went to Michigan and bought yarn for her sweater. So that is how long the sweater is going to be. This is how long it is now. And my goal is to do one stripe a day at least, but definitely do one stripe and then, rotate to the other projects that I'm working on, and then go and then come back to it if I have time. So far, I have not had time because I started my Nerd Wars dissertations. There's 2 projects for mine, and I'm still in the swatching phase. I decided not to swatch beforehand because I didn't want to use the yarn and then rip it out later, maybe. So here's the, sweater details all over the place. I even have show notes right in front of me. Karen Simply Soft in black and heathered gray worked on US size 6, which is 4 millimeters for the ribbing, and US 8, which is 5 millimeters for the body. And it is the $5 in Paris by Anna Peck Maliszewski. I think that's how you say it. Excuse me. So for my dissertation for Nerd Wars, which is a 3-month long project, I'm doing 2 projects, and one of them is black thigh highs for Amanda. Well, I guess this would be a better showing of details. Maybe you can see. It is the top of one thigh high, and the pattern is going to be Cinderella's Secret Stockings by Ruth Ramanan. I probably butchered that, sorry. Worked on US size 2, 2.75 millimeter needles, and Knit Picks Stroll in black. As you can hear, Gabriel is not taking a nap, but at least he hasn't been bothersome thus far. So these will be done by the end of April, is my goal for these thigh highs, which they're not even a thing yet. But it's big enough for a swatch. That's what I wanted to get done by this, well, I mean, I wanted the swatches done already, but that one is. Now I just have to do the swatches for the other half of the project, which is blue thigh highs. I'm not using an actual pattern. I am just ribbing for these. Have I ever told you that Ribbing and I, we are not friends? In case you couldn't tell from the Kaime socks, which took me forever to get the ribbing done. Ribbing and I are not friends, but the yarn that I'm using is Premier Serenity Sock in the colorway Indigo, and it is stripy, and I didn't want to try to find a pattern for thigh highs that would work really well with self-striping yarn, especially if the stripes don't match up perfectly, because they probably won't. So I'm just going to rib them, which will be nice because it'll be easy, mindless, but it's ribbing, and I do not love ribbing, and I'm making thigh highs with ribbing. But at least these thigh highs are made on US size 2, 2.75 millimeter needles instead of size 1 like the gray ones are. So yeah, that is everything that I have on the needles. But it is not everything that I'm going to do this month. I gave you that list of stuff last week of stuff that I wanted to do, and the last thing that I will be casting on for Nerd Wars is going to be a pair of socks for me, using, you guessed it, Serenity Sock Weight in the colorway Surf. This is a self-striping yarn. Actually, the socks that I'm wearing, I can kind of show you what this yarn looks like. adjustments. Okay, see the heel? Boop. For this sock, I actually striped 2 different yarns together, but the heel is surf, and the color change, the bright color changes that you see, not the dark yarn, but the bright ones, that's surf. So that's what I'm going to be making. And I am making up the pattern because I want stars. I am not sure if I want stripy, or not stripy, lacy stars or just textured stars, but I definitely want stars, and I looked around on Ravelry for a star pattern for socks and didn't find anything that I really liked. So I'll be designing that later this month. Probably starting them next week, maybe later this week if I get that snuggle done. That would be a good possibility. So that's what I'm planning on for another one of the Nerd Wars challenges, which I'm really excited about that one, because it is who would you take on a lunch date from a different nerdery, and so I can't take a video game character on this lunch date. So I want to take the I can't remember his name, the character from Spirited Away who has a bajillion arms and runs the hot water heater and has the soot sprites. So I want to take him to lunch, but obviously he would bring his soot sprites, right? And they eat little colorful stars. So I think this will work really well because the stars are pink and white and green mostly, and the obviously it's got the green in it, and this whitish color is white. Well, I guess you can even see. It's just a little bit, you could see it on the heel. It's kind of white, but kind of a purpley pinky color too. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm really excited for these socks. A team member looked at the sock yarn that I still have left over to make socks for me and chose that color. And I'm really pleased with it. I feel like I'm breezing through. I'm sure I'll get tripped up right now. Because I just totally skipped over my sock yarn blanket. That's why. Just jumping into new things. So my sock yarn blanket got a lot of love this week, which is good because it needs to if it's ever going to get done. I used more Premier Serenity sock weight in the colorway Chili and Paprika. And I use Lion Brand Sock Ease in Cotton Candy. I think this is, well, other than me just showing you Cecilia's sock right here, I think this is the best representation that you've ever seen of cotton candy. And this is Brown Sheep Wildfoot Luxury sock in the colorway Master Gray. It's a strand of black with 3 strands of gray. Knits up really pretty. And I used my Nooch Fiber Minis that were sent to me. This one is the MCN and this one is the Superwash. And you can't tell right now, I don't think, but they both have a lot of not variation, but a lot of depth to them because they're tonal, and they make gorgeous squares. And I'm going to use them to stripe a square too this week. That'll happen, and then there will be no more Nooch Fiber Minis to show you next week. But anyway, sock yarn blanket got some love, and now I am on to new things. I have some, but I think you'll be okay with me having some when I show you what's up. First thing I'm going to show you came in the little package from last week. We, Team 1 Up in Nerd Wars, decided for our in-between fun times we would write letters. Well, one of the people who got my name not only wrote letters, but sent me stuff. Sent me a little light blue, that's really bad coloring. Well, light blue, I think, let's see. There you go. There he is. Little light blue mushroom magnet. She also sent me a green mushroom keychain, but the children, all week I had the box from her sitting on top of my computer tower. And it was safe, it was good, because I knew I wanted to show you guys the awesomeness that she had sent me. And then yesterday while I was at knitting, the box disappeared. I found the blue mushroom on the ground under my desk. The green mushroom is missing. Hopefully I find it and the dog doesn't eat it. The other thing she sent me is this keychain, which the children stole. Let's see if I can get you. There you go. Look at that, which the children stole, and now there's a couple scratches, but I don't even care, because do you know what this is? If you don't know what this is, sad on you. These characters are from Howl's Moving Castle, and if you can't tell, I have much love for anything by Studio Ghibli. Like, crazy love for Studio Ghibli. And these are little chibi drawings from Howl's Moving Castle, and I love this keychain so much. It took a lot of willpower to not just put this on my keys, because then I would have forgotten it. But right after I finish recording and this is uploading, I'm definitely putting that on my keys, because how awesome is that? Okay, so I'm going to tell you about her shop, because she makes these little mushrooms. Well, she makes bigger mushrooms, but you can buy them from her shop. And she totally doesn't know that I'm putting her shop on here, so hopefully she doesn't mind. But it is malonb.etsy.com. malonb.etsy.com. It'll be in the show notes, obviously. Totally go look at her stuff. She makes such cute amigurumis. Is that how you say that? I can never say it. I should be able to say it, but I can't. I can say it if I'm looking at it, because it's phonetic, but when I'm just saying it, I forget how to say it. But definitely check out her stuff. Cute stuff. The other new things I actually bought using some PayPal funds from selling stuff in my shop. And the first thing I'm going to show you is some fiber. Let's see if we can get, oh yeah, that's pretty true to color. It's a gorgeous light blue. It's mulberry silk, which I've never spun before. I am really excited to spin it. Not yet, obviously. I have too many things going on. But, you know, we'll see. I don't know how I meant to weigh that so I would know how many ounces it is, but I forgot. But I will, and put it in the show notes so you can know how much mulberry silk I got. I also got, oh, by the way, I'm going to show you 2 skeins of yarn right now, and they are gorgeous and amazing, and they're totally up for you to choose. See, I didn't buy this without thought. I wasn't just like, oh, that's pretty, I want it. I mean, I did say, oh, that's pretty, I want it. But I knew that I was going to offer these yarns to you guys to be able to choose if you enter the Selfish Craft Along. So, this is really purple. I'll try to take a picture, but I'm sure that if you upload projects to Ravelry and you try to photograph purple things, you know that purple doesn't photograph very well. So this is Fleece Artist BFL socks, no colorway on here. Super gorgeous purple, and if you don't pick it, then I'm sure that I'll be making those into socks for Amanda. And this is Science Monkey's old label. Science Monkey Mercantile, old label. Faraday sock yarn in the colorway. Can you read it? Because I can't read it from here, but it's in my notes. Colorway, Unexpected Success, red number 2. It's a kind of a purpley reddy color, which, let's see, oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I will photo all of the options and put them at the top of the thread. I'm not going to put them in the show today because the lighting is not great today, but I'll put them at the top of the thread sometime this week. And yeah, 2 more options. That brings the total up to 7 options, I think, for choosing for me to make you socks. I just wanted to make sure you guys had a lot of options. And I didn't just buy this stuff just because I had the money. A friend of mine, she got sick last month. She got an infection in her leg, and she went to the doctors and they thought it was on the mend, but then it wasn't, so she had to go back. So medical bills led to her putting up D-stash, and I was like, I can get some pretties and help my friend. Obviously I'm going to do it. So yeah, that's what I got from her. Love, love, love. That was the big package last week. On to the books I am reading or finished. Actually, I finished 4 things last week. Finished Malice. It was good. I'm definitely going to see if the library has the second book, which is called Havoc, so you might be seeing that coming up. It wasn't great, but it was also, a young adult book, and I might be outgrowing them. Maybe. Probably not, though. I'm sorry for the weird lighting. It's snowing. I have a lamp on over here, and and over here, and they're throwing weird things. Let me see if I can adjust that. Oh, that's better, but the lighting is worse now. But you don't have that yellow streak across my face. Anyway, finished Malice. Finished Sword of Avalon. So good. And, let me tell you about the Sword of Avalon. This part is not good, and this is not about the story. I got the audiobook from the library, and got to the last disc. There were 23 tracks on it, I want to say. Sorry, I'm picking up my sweater to knit while I tell you the story. I think there were 23 tracks on it, and got to track 17, and it skipped a little bit. And I was like, well, each track is 3 minutes long. Skipped past the part that was skippy, and then it was fine. So I was like, okay, this is fine. And then track 18 happened, and holy wow, skippiness. Like, ridiculous skippiness. Too much skippiness. I couldn't listen to it. So I went to the library, and they had the book in hardcover. Yay! So I picked it up. I picked up the hardcover book for 11 pages of reading. 11. It's fine, though. I read the book. It was amazing. And I also picked up some other things to read because I knew I was going to run out. It was a impromptu trip to the library. It wasn't our usual Tuesday run. It was Thursday, maybe? Yeah, it was Thursday because we went grocery shopping, and then I decided we should have Taco Bell for dinner. So we went to Taco Bell, and we were turning out of Taco Bell, and it was the street that the library was on. So I was like, let's just hit the library really quick so I can get the book so I can finish this story. And I picked up a couple of other things, including Chicks with Sticks. I picked up 3 books in the series. I don't know how many there are. There were 3 on the shelf, so that's what I picked up. This is the second book. I already finished the first book. It took me 2 days to read because it's young adult, and probably going to finish this today or tomorrow and read the third one. Good thing we're going to the library because those are what I have left to read. Those 2 books. I finished Make the Bread, Buy the Butter, which amazing recipes. I made homemade bagels yesterday for dinner and they went over smashingly. They were fantastic. Probably going to be making a lot more homemade bagels because these bagels are not like the bagels that you buy off the shelf at the grocery store. Those bagels, I make one, I eat it, and then like 20 minutes later I'm hungry. Oh no, I had one bagel with cream cheese and salami and green onion. One bagel last night and I was set for the night. And I hadn't even eaten that much during the day. So it's not like I was really full from lunch anyway, so dinner wasn't a big deal. Oh no, this bagel was hearty and it was delicious. Highly recommend it. The book, so you can get the recipe for bagels. There are a few other things that I'm going to try as well, but that's not, it's not important right now. Oh, I'm having a yarn issue. Hold on. Oh, really, I was just having a cable attaching itself to my yarn issue. Oh yes, so I finished first book in this series, which is Chicks with Sticks. That's the series by Elizabeth Leonard. And the first one was It's a Pearl Thing. This one is Knit Two Together. So yeah, it's cute. It's cutesy. It's a teen book. It follows girls in high school. In the first book, they learn to knit and become friends because they weren't previously friends. 2 of them were, but the other 2 were not in the group. So, yeah. Now it's a continuation of their lives, and it's still cute. I still like it. It's not bad. It's not like a lot of second books in this series when you're like, okay, I just need to get through this to get on to the next one. This one's still pretty good. And I am also listening to Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I'm listening to that. That is my audiobook of choice. And it is pretty good. I really like it. I would even consider reading the hardcover book, even though, obviously, it's 112 pages long because it's 17 discs or something. Oh, I also listened to another book on audiobook this week. Yes, let me just spit that out there. I listened to The Great Gatsby by, I don't know the author because I didn't write it down. You probably read it in high school. I know a lot of people read it in high school, but it was not part of the AP class curriculum for 11th or 12th grade. I don't remember when everybody else was reading it. So I never read it. And I'm pretty sure that The Great Gatsby is the movie that's coming out in March. So I wanted to read it before my sister, she has threatened in a good way, to visit in March. And we're going to go see the movie. And I'm pretty sure it's The Great Gatsby. It might be something else, in which case I'll be listening to a different audiobook next week. But I listened to The Great Gatsby in one day. Sat down, knitted through it, cleaned through it. It was a one-day thing. That's why I forgot to write it down in my show notes. My 3 favorite things this week are about Nerd Wars. The title deals with Nerd Wars. It is Tournament 7, Round 1 right now, is what we are in. So my most favorite thing about Nerd Wars is my team. I love Team 1-Up. Gabriel is making his appearance at the end of the show. It seems to be what he does. Hi, Gabriel. You're supposed to be in your room for quiet time. Team 1-Up is awesome. It's really, really nice to know that when life is getting you down, or a video game is getting you down, or a yarny thing is getting you down, someone on the team has been there, done that, will do their best to help you out. It's amazing. They're a great group of people. They're such a great group of people that past players hang out with us, and people who have not played on the team hang out with us. People who are like, well, if it wasn't for this team that I'm on right now that I really, really love, I'd definitely be on your team. So that's really, really nice. We have a great group of people. I also love the monthly deadlines. It's really great incentive to get stuff done. Just work it out. A sweater in a month, I'm sure I could make this sweater take forever. But I need to get it done in a month for it to fit into a challenge. I also love that there's a 3-month challenge for the dissertation. Gabriel 2? Okay. Because otherwise these sci-highs probably wouldn't get done for about ever, because my sister didn't give me a deadline for them.
It's a soccer ball.
This is not a soccer ball, it's a mushroom. That's why I know he knows where the green one is, but he's not telling. He says it's in the box. I cleaned his room, and I cleaned my room, so the only other place it could be is in the basement, which I haven't yet cleaned, but I did pick up down there. That's where all the toys are. So maybe it's in the toy box down there. I don't know. Anyway, stop.
The mushroom.
Thank you for joining me this week. I hope you made something awesome with your sticks and string. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.